Facts Only Test Prep.
Welcome to Facts Only Test Prep. We're called Facts Only because we give you everything you need and nothing you don't when it comes to the SAT. So please enjoy the next video.
Real solutions.
Hey, it's Corey. I'm back. I don't have makeup on. I look like garbage, but the math that I've got for you is really going to be helpful today. So if you can bear to look at me, then you're going to learn something that's going to really help you on the SAT. I've actually seen today's concept show up in bunches. So I've seen tests where 2 or 3 questions involve this concept. Sometimes it doesn't show up at all. But in the event that it does, this could be a 20, 30, 40 point skill for you to have. This is the use of real solutions. If you see the language real solutions, I want you to have this in mind. Under the radical, any positive value has 2 real solutions. Think about like the square root of 4. It's plus or minus 2. Under the radical, a negative has no real solutions. There's no real solution to the square root of negative 4. In fact, we have another video about imaginary numbers that covers that topic more in depth if you want to see me with makeup on explaining it. Under the radical, 0 has 1 solution. 0. So keep that in mind as we answer the following questions. And you're going to need test 2, section 4, number 29, test 6, section 3, number 13, test 4, section 3, number 11, and test 4, section 3, number 18. Pause the video, go to factsonlytestprep.com, click on those links. Let's see if I know what I'm talking about. If you have test 2, section 4, number 29 in front of you, you'll see that they're asking for which of the following values of A and B does the system of equations have exactly 2 real solutions? That's code. They're asking you to find the answer choice that will give you a positive under the square root sign. A positive radicand, I think is the terminology. So we're going to start by just solving this system of equations with substitution. We're going to put this 3 in for y. We've got 3 equals ax squared plus b. And then we're going to try all of these sets of values until we get a positive under the radical. Let's start with a. 3 equals, and they said a equals negative 2, x squared plus 2. Quick algebra, we'll subtract 2 from both sides. And 1 equals negative 2x squared, divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. X squared equals negative 1/2. We take the square root of both sides. Negative under the radical, that has no real solutions. So answer choice A is out. Let's try answer choice B. I'm going to switch colors to keep this a little cleaner. They're saying that A is negative 2 and B is 4. So in this case, 3 equals negative 2x squared plus 4. Subtract 4. Subtract 4, and we get negative 1 equals negative 2x squared. Divide both sides by negative 2. Negative 1 divided by negative 2 is positive 1/2, so we can say that x squared equals 1/2. Take the square root of both. And look, I've got a positive number under my radical sign. That means that B is my answer. I don't need to go any further. I don't even need to know what the square root of 1/2 is. I know because this is positive that I have 2 real solutions. Now, some of these other answer choices, you could go through and do the same thing if you want. Go through, I think C gives you no real solutions. D, I think, gives you 1 real solution, which is 0, but you can stop as soon as you have a positive under the radical. Okay, let's try test 6, Section 3, number 13. Again, we see the language, real solutions. In this case, they want no real solutions. That means that we're looking for a negative value under the radical. We don't know exactly what that's going to be all of the time, but as long as it's negative, we have the answer we want. In this case, you're going to have to use the quadratic formula. I've got another video on that. I urge you to refresh yourself if you must. I've written it here so that you have it in front of you though. Minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. You're probably already exhausted. That's what they're counting on. Don't give in to them. We're going to start by putting this equation into quadratic form. This can be rewritten as 2x squared minus 4x minus t equals 0. My a term is 2. My b term is negative 4, and my c term is negative t. I'm going to put all of these into the quadratic formula, and I'm going to get 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 4 squared minus 4 times 2, which is my a term, times negative t all over 2 times 2. And again, I know there's a lot of moving pieces. All we need to look at is what's going on with the radical sign. And whichever one of these answer choices gives us a negative value under the radical sign when we substitute for t will be our answer. So let's clean this up a little bit and start by choosing answer choice A. I've got negative 4 squared, that's the same as 16, minus 4 times 2, that's 8, 4 times 2 is 8, times negative t. What is 8 times negative 3? Or 8 times, in this case, negative 3, right? We've got negative t, negative 3. That's going to be the same as 8 times positive 3. And that is 24. We get 16 minus 24, which is a square root of negative 8. Negative under the radical sign, that's enough for us to move on. We don't need to go any further. A is our answer. Notice that I didn't do any serious calculations there. I don't need to simplify any root. I didn't end up messing around with simplifying the denominator. They're not looking for a specific answer. They're looking to see if you know that rule that I gave you in the first slide. Let's try another example. This is test 4, section 3, number 11. It's a little bit of an overlap between another video I did called Special Cases of Systems of Equations. I think that it fits better in this one, so this is where we're putting it. And here's how I think you should attack it. You've got a system of equations, x equals 2y plus 5 and y equals 2x minus 3 times x plus 9. I've already FOILed this out. So you have 2x plus 15 minus 27. And then I've substituted y into the x equation. And the resulting final polynomial is 4x squared plus 30x minus 49. You will have to do that work. They're not just giving those points away. But this is still the way in. And you can use the same system that I showed you in the first 2 examples. We're going to put these values into the quadratic formula. Use a different color. minus 30, 30 is my b term, plus or minus the square root of 30 squared minus 4 times 4, 4 is my a term, times negative 49 all over 2 times 4. That's a lot of big numbers, and I know it feels scary. Let's concentrate on what's going on under the radical, and I think that you'll be pleasantly surprised when we clean this up. This is also part of the calculator section, so your calculator would do some of this work. You actually don't even need it though. 30 squared is 900. Minus 4 times negative 49. These two negatives mean that we're going to add whatever value this ends up being. So that's enough to tell you that we're going to have a positive value under the radical and that there are two solutions. You can stop right there. For those of you who want, 16 times 49 is blah, 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 blah. I think that is, let's see, 16 times 15. 784. If I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. Let's try one more special case. This is kind of an outlier. And the reason that I'm putting this in here is that it includes the language real value, but it has a couple other quirks that might throw you off. And so I wanted to put it as a part of this segment, even though it doesn't follow the exact rules that our other examples did. This is Test 4, Section 3, number 18, and they want to know for which real value of x is the equation above true. This is the only question where I've seen us have to group terms, but that's a reasonable thing to learn too. Let's check it out. We can group x to the third minus 5x to the second as x squared times x minus 5. And we can group 2x minus 10 as 2 times x minus 5. And of course, they add up to 0. And now we can rewrite this as x squared plus 2 times x minus 5. Our two answers here are positive 5, because positive 5 makes the expression equal to 0, the equation equal to 0. And here we have to say that x squared plus 2 equals 0, or x squared equals negative 2, or x equals the square root of negative 2. That's not a real solution. So our real solution is 5. And that's not the same as the other examples, but I think it's an important little appendix to what we've already done. So take that in good health and good luck. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure that you like us and subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll get information on the new videos as soon as they're available. It helps us a lot. Also, visit us at factsonlytestprep.com. That's where you'll find links to the tests that I use in my lessons, along with some other resources that we prepared for you. Thanks and good luck.